This is why the L-1011 is still the best plane ever made. When airlines buy planes, there are 7 things they look for: costs, range, capacity, fleet commonality, airport compatibility, fuel efficiency, and most importantly, passenger comfort. But before we get into the fun stuff, we've got to start off with the boring stuff. First up, the costs. At $20 billion in 1972, that is $160 million in today's money, but the DC-10 was the same price for an objectively worse plane. You may be thinking, but they're the same price. And that is where you're wrong. The L-1011 may have been the same price as the DC-10, but it was the most advanced plane of its time. It was decades ahead of DC-10 technologically for the same price. Anyway, that's enough waffle about cost. Now it's time to get into the range. The L-1011-1 had a range of 5,000 kilometers, while later variants, such as the L-1011-500, had a range of 11,000 kilometers. Anyway, now it's time to talk about capacity. In mixed class, the L-1011-1 could seat 253, but in all economy, it can seat 400. And later variants, such as the aforementioned L-1011-500, can seat 246 mixed and 330 all economy. You may be thinking, why does the 500 have less seats than the -1? And it was simply because the 500 needed to be shortened to have more fuel capacity, which equals longer range. Anyway, now it's time to talk about fleet commonality. All L-1011s had the same engine design and the same flight deck design and interchangeable structural systems. Anyway, now it's time to talk about airport compatibility. Whatever that means. And its wingspan was 47.3 meters at 50 for the 500. 2.865 kilometers min-runway distance. Fuel efficiency. The L-1011-5-1 had a fuel efficiency of 0.12 kilometers per kilogram, while later variants, such as the L-1011-500, had a fuel efficiency of 0.11 kilometers per kilogram, while the Boeing 747 had a fuel efficiency of 0.062 kilometers per kilogram, and the DC-10 had a fuel efficiency of 0.1 kilometers per kilogram. Now it's time to get into passenger comfort. The L-1011 was luxury in the sky in its day, as you can see here. As you can see from this footage of a TWA L-1011. As you can see, the L-1011 was the most comfortable plane of its time. And on that note, it's time we end.